Hello everyone, today in this video we will discuss about the incorporation of project office and its compliances in India. So let us begin with the meaning of project office. A project office is basically a place of business in India which represents the interest of the foreign company for the execution of project in India. The project office is the ideal method for companies to establish a business presence in India if the object is to have a presence for a limited period of time. So the foreign companies engaged in turnkey construction or installation normally set up a project office for their operations in India. Now we come to the eligibility for the project office in India. First of all, a foreign company may open a project office in India provided it has secured from an Indian company a contract to execute a project in India. Also, the project must be funded directly by inward remittance from abroad. Apart from this, the proposed project must have been cleared by an appropriate authority and the project be funded by a bilateral or a multilateral international financing agency. Now, the above discussed eligibility has certain exceptions. So, the RBI has given general permission for opening of project office in India. However, if any entity is a resident in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Iran, Afghanistan, China, Macau and Hong Kong and the same desires to open project office in Jammu and Kashmir or any northeastern state and Andaman and Nicobar Island, then for this they would require an approval from RBI in consultation with the Government of India. Also, where the principal business falls in defense, telecom, private security, information and broadcasting sector, the same would not be allowed. However, no separate reference or approval of Government of India would be required in respect of proposal for opening of project office relating to the defense sector if the contract for the same is opened and has been awarded by or entered into with the Ministry of Defense or service headquarters or defense public sector undertaking. Now, having discussed about the meaning and the eligibility for establishing a project office in India, we now come to the documents required to be submitted with the RBI for setting up of a project office. So first of all, the English version of the Certificate of Incorporation along with the Memorandum of Association and Article of Association is required, and the same is to be attested by the Indian Embassy or the Notary Public in the country of registration. Next is the latest audited financial statement including the balance sheet and the profit and loss account of the company. After this, a board resolution be passed by the foreign company stating its intention to set up a project office in India. Next one is the documentary evidence that the project is funded by bilateral or multilateral international financing agencies, or the project has been cleared by the concerned regulatory authority, or the Indian company has been granted term loan for the concerned project by a financing institution or a bank in India. Then comes a banker's report from a company's banker showing the number of years the company has had banking relation with the said bank. After this, a letter of authority from the parent company in favor of the local representative is required. Next are the details of the activities and the services which the entities propose to undertake or render by the proposed project office in India. After this, the entity is required to provide the residence proof and passport copies of the authorized person and a resolution or a covering letter for opening of the bank account in India. Next, we will discuss about the procedure for establishing project office in India. First of all, an application for establishing project office in India is to be submitted by the non-resident entity in Form FNC Annexure B to a designated Category 1 bank which was identified by the applicant with whom they intend to pursue banking relation along with the prescribed documents mentioned in the form. The AD Category 1 bank shall, after exercising the due diligence in respect of the applicant's background and satisfying itself in respect to adherence to the eligibility criteria for establishing project office along with the nature and location of activity of the applicant, source of funds, etc., and compliance with the extent of KYC norms, shall grant approval to the foreign entity for establishing project office in India. The AD Category 1 banks may frame appropriate policies for dealing with these applications in conformity with the FEMA regulations and directions. Now, where the applicant receives such permission for setting up of a project office, the same shall inform the designated AD Category 1 bank. Lastly, the AD Category 1 bank will intimate the RBI about the setting up of the project office. Next, we move on to the time limit for opening of project office in India. So once approval is received from the AD Category 1 bank, the project office shall be opened within 6 months from the date of letter of approval. However, an extension for further 6 months may be granted by the AD Category 1 bank for reasons beyond the control of the applicant. Thus, where the project office starts its establishment, it takes generally 15 days to register and incorporate the same. Now there are some important points that one needs to keep in mind. First of all, the proprietary concerns established abroad is not allowed to start a project office in India. Also, a foreign entity's project office is allowed to acquire any property for carrying out activities which are permitted by RBI for their own use. The project office must maintain current accounts in India, and lastly, the registrar of companies is required to intimate about the opening of project office in India in the prescribed form along with all the relevant documents. Now in the last point, we have discussed about certain important documents that are required to be submitted with the registrar of companies. So the documents required to be submitted to the registrar of companies within 30 days of establishment includes: firstly, the permission received from RBI for the establishment of project office in India. Then is the notarized copy of the certificate of incorporation along with the MOA and AOA of the foreign company, and that should be translated to English language from an accredited translator if it is not in English language. After that is the notarized copy of the power of attorney issued in favor of a person who is a resident of India, authorizing him to accept service of process or any other notice or document on behalf of the company. Then, a list of directors of the company containing the particulars regarding their name and surname, residential address, nationality and business occupation in India. In case any director does not have any business occupation but holds any other directorship, particulars regarding the directorship shall also be provided. Then comes the complete KYC of the shareholders who are holding more than 10% of shareholding in the applicant company. And lastly, the notarized copy of the extracts of board resolution passed by the foreign company for the establishment of project office in India. So this was all about project office and its establishment. For more information, contact Rajput Jain and Associate, or you can also visit our website carajput.com. Thank you.